Hi, Dr. Good. This is Kristen, and I will be doing a voiceover with screencast-o-matic, as well as presenting a PowerPoint presentation. My interviewer is an 88-year-old female. I have included her name under the reference page of the PowerPoint, but for privacy purposes. Okay. So my PowerPoint presentation title is Integrity in Late Adulthood. I conducted March 2020. She's an 88-year-old female. She's lived in Colorado throughout retirement in an assisted living community. I feel that she expresses integrity versus despair according to her textbook. The first thing that I want to is one of two of my outside sources. This is called the greenhouse effect. The setting in Jane Doe's apartment while I did conduct this interview reminds me of a program rolled out in upstate New York that came in 2009 called the greenhouse effect. Basically, the greenhouse effect has plants. It's not so much structured and scheduled. It's kind of like patient-centered care. So when they wake up, that's when they have their breakfast. They choose whether or not they want to participate in activities. But the big reason for the name behind the greenhouse effect is, in fact, taking care of plants, which this was the atmosphere of her apartment. And after conducting this interview, it sounds like her entire life has been composed of this. In this story quoted, it is, home supports the growth of the international community where there are reciprocal relationships between residents, families, and staff. This challenges each home to foster a culture based on meaningful activity, simple pleasures, and enjoyment. The model promotes maximal function independence. So living where she is at, here we'll compare integrity versus despair. According to her book, characteristics of integrity, which I feel Jane Doe possesses, are acceptance, confidence in her parenting, satisfied with her life, versus despair, someone who's bitter, blameful, accountability. Our texified quote says, "Those who reach integrity become self-affirming and self-accepting. They judge their lives to have been worthwhile and good. They are glad to have lived the days they did." And that's 100% Jane Doe. So here we'll list off some major events in her life. She's an incredible person. So the significant loss that I'm going to talk about, there's three pretty influential people that she has survived. She's 88 years old. She's retired. She does live in an assisted living community. Something she's pretty excited about that happened just recently is she got hearing aids from her daughter's suggestion. And that was actually the day that I interviewed her, which was Monday, February 24th. She said that she got to hear church service for the first time in 7 years since moving here. Other significant events that have happened in her life. The first was, so Jane Doe has been married twice. Her first husband passed away after serving in the Air Force in Korea in 1929. She had an 8-month-old son at the time that she shared with her husband. She found out through a telegram that he had passed away, and they actually never found his remains. So she remarried her Sam that her mother had actually set up the opera. But her first husband, who passed away in Korea, had 2 other children. So Jane Doe became a stepmom to 2 children, and then her son of her own. Remarried the second husband, Sam, passed away in 2006. They had a daughter together, so now she's a mom of 2 stepkids and 2 of her own children, a boy and a girl. And actually, all 4 kids are extremely active still. And then the one that really seems to be devastating to her, her brother is 17. But she describes him as her lifelong best friend. He passed away in 2014. He was part of an accident that left him paralyzed. The doctors gave him, she said, 6 to 18 months to live. He actually lived decades after that, played basketball as a paraplegic, was part of a pinball tournament. He did fishing. He hunted deer. She says there isn't anything that this disabled American veteran wouldn't do. She really admired him. Her mom passed away shortly after from pancreatic cancer. I have Jeremiah 29:11. I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. Jane Doe is very active as well as a resident. And so the reference that I am quoting says, it is possible that healthier or more active older adults from assisted living sites were more likely to volunteer. However, there was considerable variability within our study sample and test scores on physical, cognitive, and psychosocial function measures, which argues against a possible section of bias. Again, that goes back to what I was saying about Jane Doe, where she just has the greenhouse effect. I describe her as 80 years young, very, very full life. From the years of 1963 to 1967, she did become a born-again Baptist Christian. Starting in 1963, she had been going to church for 8 years. It was a Lutheran church. Went through classes, did confirmation, and then later in life, it was actually her second husband, Sam, and her that became Christians. But she does describe that we all serve the same God, and He knows, where we're coming from. She did quote James 1:2-4. Consider it pure answers when asked trials, because the time of your faith produces perseverance. Finish its work, so you may be mature and be lacking in anything. And I put living your best life, and that's absolutely what Jane Doe has done. She went to the hospital. She absolutely would be fantastic. She is that and he's the one that at the end of the day has given us our lives. She said even as a non-believer, when she was facing death and trials and tribulations, she actually said that she could still feel God's presence. She didn't know what she was feeling. She didn't know and have the relationship that she has with God, but that she saw him see her through. I thought that was really powerful. So here are my references. These are two additional references. This is the resident's name, but again, I didn't want to include it in the PowerPoint presentation. Obviously, the Holy Bible, New International Version, she quoted several scriptures. I got a picture from nurseimages.com and then our textbook. I hope you use PowerPoints.